for you because that's just how I roll. I just try to squeeze it in where I can, preferably during daylight hours. So anyway, this is the only time I can do it. Anyway, what I've got here for you, this is career, money, finance. If something comes through that's more specific to relationship or something like that, I might highlight it. But right now, I have pulled from a few different decks. So I've got the Archangel Power Tarot cards. I might also pull from the Oracle of the Seven Energies, Colette Baron Reed. But anyway, we'll start with this in the beginning just to get things going. On the outset here, I would say that a lot of the cards are actually quite positive. So it does show me that there is some struggle. There's something that is going to be a bit of a challenge for you in this month in terms of your finances. But overall, it does look like you end up on the other side of that. So just to kind of get right into it, and whatever else sort of jumps in here, like I said, I will continue on with. But for the most part, this is not going to speak to all of you. Some of you are going to be on, of course, we're all on different timelines. So as I mentioned in all of the other readings, if you're not all making a decision on a Monday or a Tuesday, and sometimes some things take a little longer for some people to process versus others. If one person has a job and another doesn't have a job this week, but they get it in 2 or 3 weeks from now, then it kind of staggers the energies out. So again, take it as it resonates, but I feel overall that this is a pretty positive reading. Again, with not without its struggles, but overall, I feel like you're looking pretty good, and there's still some things that are yet to be a big reveal. I feel like for the most part, there's also some things that are coming out much further out here, maybe not much further out, but probably within a 3-month period, just because there are some unknown variables in here. Anyway, we'll start off with what the leap of faith is. So, okay, off the cuff here. The start of this indicates that you need to believe in yourself, listen to your heart, and do what gives you joy. There's something here that I feel you may have been dabbling at, but you haven't really fully put your heart and faith and all of that behind yet. So it feels like you're wanting to move on to this new path, but it doesn't look as though you've made enough of the steps to sort of advance it. So it's like a halfway point, or you're halfway in, or there's a third of the way in, or something like that, and it has yet to be kind of like more developed. More development is kind of what I'm seeing here that's required, and it does require a little bit more of a plan, that kind of thing. But it is also a time of allowing yourself to just grow into that space of whatever it is that you were starting. So again, believing in a dream, but you have to take more steps to sort of lead this into a space of um where you're not still in kind of the Fool energy, which is coming up more in not just with this particular deck, but it also came out with the other regular tarot Rider Waite deck. So to me, it's like you're through a little bit of this new journey, but it's not yet enough for you to really feel like you have been able to gather something from it or something like that. It hasn't been fully developed yet or fleshed out. So it's like you need to kind of put a little bit more into it and able for this to bring you back some of the joy that you're kind of looking for. I feel like you have started on the path of wanting something new. You're waiting for something to kind of take you into a new space, because I don't feel like you're in that place yet where you feel like you're quite comfortable. When we get to the Seven of Gabriel, this is in around that energy of, again, stand up for what you believe in, have confidence, claim your personal power. I'm not going to say that you should do this in a really aggressive way. That's not the energy that I'm getting from these cards. A lot of this energy is kind of restrictive in some way. So what I see here is that you need to feel more confident in what it is that you're believing in. So if you feel that you can, you will. If you feel like you have the ability to you know, be more charismatic, then you will. If you have the, sense that you want to create more opportunities for yourself, then you can. To me, that's the energy that I'm getting off of these cards here, because it feels as though that you're ready for a new start. You're ready for a new challenge. You're ready for something that's going to be a lot more um, positive, or again, it feels like you're waiting for something to change, like your luck to change, something along that line. But I feel like this card is, again, there's a lot of energy that kind of directs you toward growing. growing something. And there is some kind of internal conflict, of course, because as I said, I mean, with the other cards I did, kind of pull that out with the tarot, but we'll get there. So right now, I just feel like you need to, be a little bit more of your own advocate for you, advocate for you. So, and it's not that other people are holding you back. I think you have to believe in yourself a little bit more here in this period. So now we're at the Queen of Gabriel. So this could be somebody who's coming in to assist you or guide you or help you out in some way. But could also represent you in this particular deck. But passionate, charming, brilliant, and independent. So you can do anything right now. Go after what you want. The ability to attract helpful people. So I feel like you have kind of held yourself in a holding pattern, and this is really saying, get out there. This is, again, be a little bit more charismatic, be a little bit more social, or interact with people in ways that, are going to be positive, because what you give out is what you get back. So if you're in that space of being a lot more hopeful and positive, then you can expect that there will be some of that starts to kind of turn around in your corner. But right at this point, it feels like you're trying to um, it's almost like you need to believe in the advice you might give someone else, to keep things positive. It's one thing to say it, it's another thing to believe it. It feels like there's something along that line. It's almost, and as well, when we get to the card of peace, I feel like there is something here that doesn't feel like your mindset is in a peaceful space. The fact that we have the card of peace coming out here does indicate that, release the past. There is a more enriching future ahead that's coming. Let go, let God. So what I see here is you're going through some kind of a transformation. It's more about trying to find the way to believe in yourself will also open up new experiences and situations, all of that. So again, you're outgrowing an old phase of your life, but you're still clinging to it. And again, that could be your pattern of behavior or addictions or whatever, because we also have the devil card below, which I'm sure you can see in the screen here. But it feels like, the past is no longer a part of this, and yet you're still hanging on to element. I'm not saying get rid of everything that's related to the past. I mean, what I'm saying is, kind of release the negativity that you have associated with the past so that you can see what is salvageable to kind of move forward with. It's not cutting everything out of your life so that you're left with nothing and no resources and no, connections or whatever. It's not that. That's not what I'm saying. This is really where I find you're finding a certain sense of peace and release when you find that peace when you're able to release some of the old mindset. Like I said, there's something here. It doesn't have to be related to a person specifically. It can be you just kind of locking yourself in. You have to let go of some of these, negative trapped kind of stagnating kind of energies, because there is a couple of cards that sort of, again, speak to all of that. So now that we're at the wheel, these are the major arcana, or the majority of these cards here. So that also indicates to me that there are some new changes. There's something about to come in that's going to really benefit you. Your luck is changing. And so it's like it's going to allow you to see new opportunities. And again, this is also getting something off the ground. So if you started something, which it does suggest to me that you have, you really need to follow it through in a more, consistent way, because it feels like this change that is about to occur it's movement forward. You're ready for change. This is all things that are pointing you in that direction of change. So again, there's a lot of cards, a fresh start and optimism for the future. So again, this is a very long period of time that we're looking at with all of this energy, but there will be more joy and fulfillment coming in. But again, I feel you're kind of in a little bit of a stuck pattern right at this particular time in the month of July. In terms of your finances, I feel like, again, there's help or something that's coming in here for you, and the Emperor does suggest that there is a certain degree of stability. So it does feel like, there's been a little bit of flux here and you feeling stuck, things not feeling that they're coming in fast enough or whatever. But I want you to know, or as a reassurance, the Emperor is that card of, things are okay. Stability is here, and you're going to make, practical decisions. And there is going to be a plan that you're implementing for this month in regards to the money. So I'm not saying with that Fool energy coming out in more than one card, in this particular month, I feel like you are still being asked not to take a leap of faith and be risky with the money. I feel like it's more of a practical sort of mindset, but it does open you up to more stability further out because, again, the cycle is changing. You're sort of in the midst of that change, but you're not aware of it yet because you haven't actually seen anything that's, in particular that's come through to, let you know that you're on that path yet. So, but again, the emperor still speaks to, someone who is possibly good counsel here, somebody who has that ability to, take charge of a situation and, come up with an idea. And this is someone who would have that ability to create a successful outcome. So again, I feel like whether this is you who's being very diplomatic and very rational and logical, not a lot of emotion in this particular month, I feel like July is about just getting things done. There's a real sense of organizing yourself, following the rules, and that kind of action, or that's where you should be sort of focused, because I feel like overall you're in control of your direction here and the way that you're planning. So it doesn't feel reckless, and you're still, the advice is do not be reckless with the energy just because of all this, the other cards here. There's still like a layer of things that have yet to be revealed. And so until we really know what that energy is, I wouldn't play around with too many risky moves. However, we are still moving into levels of stability and authority, and there's protection here in this period. The 10 of Raphael, again, this is really good energy as well. And this still speaks to, the 10 is a finishing up of a cycle. And because you have a lot of cards of new starts, and your luck changing and, that kind of thing, and changing not in just the short term, changing in a big way, like that we're looking at long-term changes when we're looking at the Wheel of Fortune, which, by the way, came up several times, not just with this particular deck, but also with the other tarot deck that I've got sort of off to the side here. But anyway, 10 of Raphael is about, as the card depicts, love and blessings, fill your life, harmonious relationships with family members, happily ever after. So again, this take charge energy is more of, not one of dominance. I still feel like some of the energy here, even though your finances are looking pretty stable, because you're planning wisely this month, it still does indicate to me that there is a loving, kind of connection here of some sort. Whoever you consider family to be, doesn't have to be actual family, can be friends or whatever, that are people that you consider very close to you. But nonetheless, it's still a sense of, working hard. There is a sense of peace and satisfaction in what you're doing and in the relationships that you're surrounded by. So I feel like you're still on the right path, especially with all that energy. And you can trust in these connections, especially with that 10 of Raphael. So again, a lot of energy around stability and end cycles kind of closing up. So now we're getting into the other energy. Maybe I'll pull that one off to the side for the minute. Okay, so when we get to the High Priestess, and of course, the High Priestess, I did pull clarifier. Sorry for the movement on the camera, guys. I'm just kind of doing it off the cuff, so it's a little hard to keep everything fully stable. But again, this is big, major energy. The High Priestess, to me, of course, it is all of the queens kind of rolled into one here. So it means that there's a lot of things yet to still be revealed. Trust your intuition. All of that sort of goes with this card as well. But I still feel like overall you're in that space of needing to just trust that you have done this before, or that you're able to, trust in you, because it's almost like I don't feel you feel that you can trust the way or trust the path this month, or that something is going to come through, but it will. Everything's going to fall into place. Not without the plan, though. Again, you have to strategize a little bit here in this month, but I do feel like you are feeling stuck overall. So anyway, when we get to the High Priestess, like I said, that's still a really good energy of things that are still yet to, a promise of some sort is being made from the universe, that there's some good things that'll still come through. It's not all unraveling in the month of July for sure, but I feel like you're starting to realize that there's some hidden factors at play here. And so even though things are not being fully revealed to you at this time, the energy still suggests that there's a lot of inspiration, even though there's some secrecy or some things that are not known to you at this time. Again, knowledge that you're not ready to, um, that things aren't maybe lined up enough for you to or like to see what the end result would be. But this is also Cancer sort of energy that's coming through here as well. But again, it's a 2, and it definitely suggests more balance. So there's something here that is still in the unknown, and it is not to be knowable at this time because all of the things aren't fully lined up for it to be revealed yet. But it's also kind of that indicator of remain open. The information and things that you need and the answers you seek in this period is asking you to remain open to what needs to come in, because then you'll find the answer to fix whatever it is that you're trying to, you know, um, trying to understand or trying to resolve. Again, this could also be someone here that is, coming in as more of a mysterious person, whether this is you or someone else around you, somebody who's not very vocal, but somebody who's kind of emotionally detached. Could represent here. It doesn't have to be a woman, it could be a man, but again, it's still, where this is not a lot of information that's being revealed to you. So again, there's a bit of a feeling of detachment, but just focus on the things that you know right now. I feel like you do need to kind of trust the intuition in terms of finding a resolve for whatever it is you're trying to find, an answer to. But this is also, probe beneath the surface. Try to figure something out by asking the questions. Sometimes they say it's best to ask the questions at night so that when you go to sleep, the answers reveal by morning or in a dream. In terms of also in terms of you, it's keeping your own counsel. So it's really not revealing a lot of things, that you're kind of maybe dealing with as well. But things will all reveal in time at this point. It's not necessarily something that you need to be aware of. Okay, the other part of this is here too. Um, it's almost like, because we've got the card of the star, this is of course a card of healing. So there's also something here that kind of speaks to you sort of being in a space of, whether this is physical, mental healing, whatever it is for you. There's something here that has yet to kind of fully work through, right? So there's also um, even in terms of your finances, you don't have the full story and able to make full decisions. So that's why I say there's something more that's going to come in later. And maybe not everything is coming in the month of July, but things will start to turn around and things will move in a more positive. Um, so the other part of this here is as well is that, again, things are hidden for a reason. So it might be unclear to you, but just remain open and receptive, and there will be something here coming through in your intuition that will help you to resolve a situation. Again, I still feel like there is something here of a caution, again, in regards to money, because with the High Priestess, that is a card of caution. So basically, don't discuss the finances openly. Just trust that things are kind of moving in the right direction. And again, even with the star card, and it's also, I feel like you're in a really reflective space here. Like you're doing a lot of inner work or soul searching. There's something here that requires some thought, and it is going to allow you to see, have a little more hope and have a little more faith and more optimism in a situation. So again, there's something here about you stepping out of your comfort zone to kind of get something done. But the star definitely speaks to, even in terms of your finances, things are starting to look better, even though you may not see it yet. It is still moving in the right direction. Again, the star sometimes can even indicate there is some sense of getting attention for something here as well. And so, like I said, with the path that I feel that you're on, even if it isn't all coming through in the month of July, because there's just way too many major arcana for you to be, getting everything outright in this month. It feels like, because the major arcana takes some time to kind of work through. So, like I said, I feel like you're moving in the right direction, and you will get some sense of a new start or a fresh start and an opportunity that's coming in here. But it's almost like the solution is keep the faith, trust in the process is really what you're being told here. So there is a sense of peace that is strongly correlated to this period of July. So again, there's sort of a quiet after the storm. The future looks bright. It's all of that. There's rejuvenation after a time of difficulty. There's healing. You just have to trust that there is something in a new cycle that is going to pay off for you. There's persistence here and hard work that will pay off. But again, your confidence is going to kind of rise with that, once things sort of fully reveal. So again, the star fulfills promises. It also brings good fortune. And even though you're not seeing it just yet, because what's the current energy is yet to be revealed. So again, just know that that's where things are headed. Things are going in the right direction. So we also have that Queen of Pentacles. And even once, I feel like there's also a sense of kind of opening yourself up to new possibilities. Again, in this new direction, I feel like you have to grow it a little bit more, put more effort into something and able to bring about a better or a stronger reward. But there is definitely, even in terms of, like I said, with that star card, there's a sense of, maybe more chronic problems and those kinds of things, in terms of healing that I feel like the mind body connection is, something here about alternative therapies that you would benefit from if you actually did, uh, just continue on the course. And it's like things will just sort of clear up once you are doing a little bit more along that line. But anyway, Queen of Pentacles, this is still that card of using the resources wisely. It's definitely somebody who it's a mature energy. Again, it's not doing things externally, it's doing things in more of an internal way. So it's figuring things out from a quiet point of view. It's not loud and proud. It's not that kind of energy. Queen of Pentacles is using all the resources. It's Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, is seeking all those practical solutions, to a problem. So again, this is you either implementing some kind of a business strategy or, starting to figure out what are your advantages, what are the things you can actually do for money, and how do you pool it, or how do you put it into an investment? What are your flashes of inspiration? And whatever it is, you're not just keeping it in the head, you're having to put it into something in a practical level. So it's you building on achievements with this card. And again, there's nothing here that speaks to any kind of impulsive energy. It definitely speaks to practical energy is slower moving energy as well, and it's goal energy. So again, you did have the 10 of Cups, I believe, and the other, or 10 of Pentacles, either way, both sort of speak to goals achieved through, kind of a longer term effort. The Queen of Pentacles also in terms of finances speaks to, your finances are actually quite good. It's better than you think they are. Even though I feel like there is some sense of worry, although you could still sabotage it because the Eight of Swords is here. But overall, I feel like, if you're doing the little things, you're going to actually start to see that there is, things will work out beautifully is what I want to, how I want to open that up. So again, it's just a flowing kind of energy, but it's a practical energy here as well. So don't fret. I feel like you're going to use whatever monies come in a really methodical way, and that's going to help you to kind of bring back sort of a sense of stability and awareness. Because again, even with the Two of Wands, you are doing really well here because that energy speaks to, things really being, you're at the door of, moving through something, right? So the Two of Wands is still a card of twos being stable, like it's working together in partnerships. It definitely is about possibly, usually Three of Wands for me is the card of waiting, but for me, this is more about, you're kind of making a choice in some way to keep things moving forward because it's more of a cooperative sort of effort. It's almost like one person relies on the other, and so it's not everything falling on your shoulders entirely. So I feel like this is, still you're making the right connections with this card. Still speaks to, things, even your finances actually improving. it'll improve significantly further out, but it definitely speaks to something improving overall in this month. So again, if you were feeling like you were stuck or things were at a bit of a crossroad, it's just really saying trust the things that are about to change. And I just want to say, in terms of even on a health, basis, I do feel like some of you might be still waiting on some medical results or whatever, but I feel like there are some things here that you still are kind of, something exists here that you're trying to work through. Just because I see so many of the cards of the devil addiction card, behavior, negative mindset, all of that. A lot of anxiety that I see is kind of prevalent in this month. But I'm telling you that things are going to change. You're going to meet your bills, but through practical measures this month, and through a coordination of some other people around you as well. But overall, the longer term finances are actually going to improve significantly over, again, I feel like this is more of a year sort of time frame, or into the next year, because the Wheel of Fortune is a cycle. It's a period of a cycle. So again, it's not happening overnight, but it is definitely moving in your favor. So I would say, stay to the plan, nose to the grindstone a little bit here. Not doing anything risky, because the Wheel of Fortune is going to connect you to luck and destiny and all of that. But it is turning in your favor because it is followed by the success card of the Chariot. So there's a direction here that you can move ahead more favorably. Again, the final card out was the Ten of Swords. Again, not your main player. It's just your, the cards telling you whatever the harshness of betrayal or damage to you in some way, that's ending. Like you're in the residual energy of it for sure. Still kind of carrying through a little bit in July, but it's pretty much ending. I would say, again, you're all on a different sort of cycle in terms of how you heal. So not all of you will be healed in the month of July. It might go a little bit further, because it depends on your resources. It depends on what you are comfortable changing in your life. It depends on how you can accept change. All of these things, come into play. So again, the Wheel of Fortune is still a turning point in your life. It does indicate things are going to be more stable. And it definitely indicates a longer cycle, even a new work cycle for some of you. But it's almost like you're discovering your life purpose. You're in that energy. You might be going beyond your limits here, but somehow you're going to feel liberated. The energy is going to start in this month. It doesn't mean in the month of July everything just turns around and everything is favorable, but it does indicate that, if you were stuck in a rut in spinning your wheels, and I do sort of feel that's a bit of the energy here, that is going to change. So again, there's really good energy here around getting some recognition of some sort, further out, but there is definitely something here along favorable lines. Trust your instincts, don't get stuck in a holding pattern, and definitely, explore this new path, because there's something more to it. Even if something didn't quite take off, I feel like you've kind of halted yourself with it. You haven't pushed enough to sort of get it into a space where, where it really is, but it is a successful path if you push through with a little bit more of that energy. The Chariot to me as well is, I would say that this is kind of a faster moving energy, because I think it was actually further out. I did see something here with the wands, which also indicated there's something is going to kind of, turn around a little bit further. But this is also that card, the strength card comes out here as well. So it does indicate to me that you have to push through this. You have to, push through and prove to yourself more, more specifically, that this is a part of your destiny. This is something that you have been working on for some time, but I feel like, again, it's like somehow it's a little further out and you just have to put some leverage in your favor, like put a little bit more time and effort, a little bit more energy, a little bit more connections to others to kind of move it ahead. Because it's a very ambitious reading. It's a very ambitious sense of a new direction. And I definitely feel like, networking is a part of that. So there's a strong determination to get something done for sure. And I do feel like there might be a potential car issue for some of you, just because it is followed by the Ten of Swords. But either way, I still feel like overall things will get better. You just have to, keep pushing through, because it's very purposeful action. So, of course, again, when we get to this particular card, um, this is not, it's not a card of, it's you kind of, keeping yourself stuck. Really, it doesn't, it's not that I see any blocks in your way this month, just so you know. It's you that is holding yourself back. So I mean, that is not, it's nothing that you really have to consider unless you continue to keep your mindset in the same old way, doing the same old things. And, because then when you end up, they say that the difference between a lot of success and non-success is in your emotional quotient. It's not IQ, it's EQ. And so it's really about, because the more times that you put yourself down, or you feel stuck, or you feel trapped, or anything like that, it takes a long time to get out of that energy. And by the time you get out of that energy, you may have attracted a whole bunch of other negative people to you and negative circumstances. Now you just added to your pile, and you've even got more to work through. So the Eight of Swords is that card of being triggered, feeling restricted, self-deception, all of that. And it definitely speaks to kind of being paralyzed by your own fears. So again, this is kind of your own mental prison here. I don't feel like you are, you're too much in your head here. And you might very well be somebody who is, feeling misunderstood around family. But I just want you to know that that seems to be your power card. It's come out more than once. The family is your strength. So this is something that you really have to trust and work together with, because this is, that frustration is, it's something you're dealing with deep down, and it's more of a blinder that you put on yourself, and that's really restricting your ideas. So again, it's about how do you empower yourself. You talk to yourself. As a matter of fact, there was something that, I was trying to remember. It was an actual scientific study, and it's not just about the power of positive thinking, because yes, power of positive thinking is useful, and but again, you have to believe it. I mean, if you're going into it saying it but not actually believing it, it's, that can also draw things back as well. But they say for 21 days you have to using your voice, because everything is about energy, frequency, and light. So if you want to change your world, you have to be able to figure those three things out. How do you use energy, frequency, and light? We vibrate, energy vibrates. And when other energy comes into us, it vibrates around us. That's why you get that empathic sort of feel of getting a sense of the energy around you, and, whether it's good or not, positive or negative or whatever. We do need both of those in the world. We need the light, we need the dark, because when you see more of the light, you see more around you, you see more solutions, you see more answers. But there's also that, energy of, the dark allows you to sort of process things that you haven't been able to, maybe on a day-to-day get to resolve. So sometimes life gets so busy that we stuff things down emotionally, and we're not able to deal with it. So it's not that you can be empowered by those periods of shadow work, but you can also be disempowered if you stay in that energy too long. And for the most part, everything that kind of revolves around, um, uh, healing is really about how do you get yourself to learn to accept what negativity or difficulties you've had to challenge. So again, it's, making sure that you keep your head clear enough. So again, that science sort of bouncing around a bit here, but that 21-day challenge is using your voice creates a certain resonance, a certain vibration, and that will help you to actually send out something to the world that is in line with what you want. So for 21 days, make it a challenge to say, and I'll have to find these studies. Like I say, I randomly read it, and then I catch it, and then I kind of move on. But it's just the way I think. But if you look it up, there is a 21-day study that indicates when you actually verbalize something that you want, not saying I wish because when you have to believe that you're actually there. I am healthy. I am, strong. I am financially well off. But don't just keep it general, keep it more to specific, right? Um, I'm driving a Honda, or I'm driving a you know, whatever your favorite car is, or, you know, so be more specific is what I'm getting at. They did some studies on water actually that as well, that was kind of noteworthy. And they said when people actually, I think it was done with priests or religious sort of ideals around it, but when you actually had, they would create negative verbal comments around the water, and then it would be analyzed underneath a microscope. And they found that the patterns, of which usually are like almost like a snowflake pattern, these crystalline kind of patterns that water actually does mimic, like it actually creates an actual pattern. They found that when you were negative, it the patterns were broken, but when you were positive, the patterns were intact. So it's like looking at a snowflake that's only half there. So that's like getting half of what your dream or your goal is when you're too much in a negative space. But anyway, this scientific study, like I said, does indicate speaking out to the universe because it creates a vibration. It's an actual vibration which will mimic something back to you because you're attracting something through your own vocal cord. So just to be aware of how you speak as well. Um, Tone and those kinds of things mean everything, especially in terms of healing. Binaural beats is another thing that kind of speaks to that, you know, where they actually layer in different beats or different sounds of music, different hertz, which actually indicate, you know, areas of how it'll resonate toward the body and heal it. So again, making sure that you're paying attention to the sounds around you as well. Music, all of those things impact us in a particular way for a reason. Anyway, okay, that's just my rant. So back to the reading. So 10 of Cups does indicate that your family is kind of your support, or whoever you feel is family for you. Ten of Cups is also, you know, feeling very elated. Something is going to be coming in over this next little bit here. It's not the main card out, but it definitely is not too far behind. So it does indicate that there is something that's going to completely turn around here that is going to help you into a better headspace. So I feel like you're getting a sense of, you know, feeling of support. You feel like you're supported in your family or your relationships or whatever it is that's your security there. And again, it's whoever family is to you, friends or otherwise. But I still feel like whatever it is, there's some kind of sense of emotional harmony coming through here, because you have some sense of happiness after, again, feeling heavily restricted. You're really worrying about something and everything. Oh, hi, Strength Robert. Pisces. Oh, yeah, I have to do a reading for you guys too. Sorry, I've just been so busy lately. I haven't really been able to get to that. But I guess our time zones are different. So good night. I'll try to get to yours here pretty soon here as well, Robert. So not to worry. Okay, so again, now we're getting into the other card here. So this one is, of course, the Devil card. Again, as I sort of spoke to that energy there, there's something here that kind of speaks to obsessing over something. So you've got a real desire for stability, and again, practical things in nature are what's important here. But the Devil energy speaks to sort of the darker side of things that you are dealing with. So you're struggling to let go of negative patterns of behavior. And I feel like that stems from childhood for some of you. And for others, this could be in around maybe childlike behavior, or that there is something in terms of dealing with a child in a very negative way. That I don't feel is a favorable thing here. But there is still something here of nostalgia and reflection and thinking back to someone's childhood or someone as a child. And again, there's still really positive energy here that kind of speaks to the, uh, kind of speaks to moving things ahead. So, I mean, the Queen of Wands, you know, like I said, you're moving past it. There is some good news that's coming in there with that energy of the Page of Cups. And then certainly you could be dealing with Leo, Aries, Sagittarius here as well. But the Queen of Wands is a really good card for kind of being really focused on more of our creative projects. So again, for those of you that are the creatives, I feel like this is something you really need to take advantage of. just because it's in the read, you know, it does indicate that there's two queens here. So I feel like you really need to kind of start pushing something ahead. It's like something has been put on pause or something, or there wasn't enough action toward it. Does still speak to a little bit of that nervous energy here though as well, but this is a mature woman here, so this does indicate, or a mature man, so it does still indicate that the energy is kind of a business type sort of mentality. And there is still something here that has a certain sense of maybe drama around a child here as well, because on the negative of that, because it is sort of falling in behind the devil, I would just be really careful about your temperament around a child or a younger person, because that for some of you is, I would say, kind of a warning. But Aries, Leo, Sagittarius also, if that figures in for some of you. But either way, I just feel like there's good news that's coming through, and it's going to be increasingly coming in pretty quick. There is also the sense of, you know, you can kind of expect the unexpected. So I just feel like that Six of Swords energy is, you are putting something behind you. You are putting something. There is a sense of you're putting a little bit of that baggage behind you, is what I would say. I don't know that it's all been fully cleared, because the devil energy to me is a pretty big one. But I still feel like there is some work on that, that you're actually putting something behind you, but it still feels like it's that energy of, you know, finding a solution to a problem. Cancer is also coming through here. Water sign, Pisces, Scorpio. But the situation is still improving. You're still in a period of transition here. And there could be, again, unexpected source of money that's come through here to help out. But the Three of Pentacles indicates that there is definitely some kind of resource that's come through with a connection. So I feel like, again, you're kind of turning away from some of the difficulty, but I want to just say, be really careful with that child energy, because it's a very heated sort of temperamental kind of energy there, and it's a trigger. It's not going to go favorably in that particular situation. So it's almost like that water sign could turn their back on you. So I'd be really careful with that. Okay, so then we move into the Two of Swords. So again, there is still that stagnant kind of energy, like I said, that's, you know, that's kind of peeking its way through here. But, you know, it's not to say it is, because I see all the other cards, you know, you're overcoming it. So I don't feel like there's any real issue here. But again, still feeling like you have a decision to make. You're trying to persevere through a scenario here, especially with the Strength card coming out. But again, there's that chance for a new beginning, and it is some kind of feeling of being trapped and feeling held back by something that's related around the past, or that you're struggling with letting go of, something of a negative pattern that's around the past. So again, I would still say that, you know, there is some growth here around self-awareness, but it's a challenge to sort of get through that. So you're holding yourself back, but remember, there is an opportunity for growth and self-awareness here. You just have to be open to it. Putting too much time and energy into the worry aspects, you know, is not a way of resolving something. So anyway, it's, you know, because you block out other energy from helping you to resolve something. So again, the Fool is still that energy coming through, that, you know, you have some kind of potential in a situation, a chance for a new start here. Could also be that there is somebody that's acting a little bit foolish in a situation, but I feel like you are starting like kind of embarking on a new sort of pathway here. This could sort of speak to, it's not usually my card of a new job, but I mean, it could speak to something new coming in that's kind of helping you to kind of increase the finances here, because again, there's still kind of, you know, that energy that's here, but, and again, it's coming through, some kind of communication is coming through, possibly around a new job really quickly here, but because I do see the card of victory. So again, because of that combination, I just feel like some of you, it's recognition that you're getting around this new pathway, but you're also, for others of you that are this is a new job that is kind of showing itself. So again, I don't normally see that as my new job card, but in this case, it does feel like that. So for some of you, but it's also a real sense of restlessness around something here. But everything is going to be okay. So just know that if your financial situation wasn't fully solid or whatever, you are making some practical steps here to get it going. Six of Wands is, like I said, it is the card of something's coming through to kind of help out in a situation. So, and again, there's still a collaboration as well from other people, I feel, that are a part of this. So it's almost like everything integrated together is kind of making things happen. Because we're just doing career, money, finance right now. So again, this is that card of persistence, overcoming obstacles, and definitely, getting a clearer vision of where you're headed. So you can expect some kind of a new job, something that's coming in here. And it does feel like a new job again, because I have the Hierophant out here. So this can be a corporate card. This can be a long-term commitment card. Could be coordinating with somebody that is also, in a hierarchical sort of situation, like a fairly bigger business sort of feel is what I get with that. But it just feels like you are, like everything's just kind of falling into place. So, and I feel like, you are sort of you're getting back on track is what's happening. We're almost through all the cards, guys. This is our last two. So when we get to this one here, and again, we are looking at the queens. We've got three queens in here. So there could be a little bit of, again, coordinated effort. Sometimes they say gossip, whatever, but I don't feel like it's that necessarily. But again, the Queen of Cups is coming through here as a bit of a support. So this can be somebody who is, very emotionally pretty calm, cool, collected for the most part, but definitely empathetic and compassionate and very, giving and supportive and that kind of thing. So whoever that is to you, or if this is you, just know that, that is it's a really good card. It's positive, right? For, being sentimental, being in that space of thinking back, to the past here as well, but it's also a card of personal growth. So again, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, water signs, very strong coming through here, but again, strong intuition, and I feel like you're becoming more comfortable with the situation as time goes on. But there's just a lot more compassion that's coming through from you or someone else here in your surroundings. So again, this kind of speaks to doing something maybe from home here as well, or a lot of things are happening around the home front. But I just feel like there's a lot more happiness here around the home. And again, stability showing up here all over the place. So again, there's something here that you can really work with. Just know that your foundation is still pretty solid, and you're on the right track. And this is not don't pay too much attention to being in the block state, basically, is what's happening there. I want to just pull a card here as far as advice here. Let's see if there's something that comes through with the Oracle energy cards. Okay, so with the Oracle energy cards, what does Gemini need to know? Hi, Huda. Sorry, I always just kind of look down at the last minute and see you guys on there. Okay, so what is the main energy that's coming out as a Gemini for the month of July? Actually, I might pull three cards on that one. Shining through. Okay, these kind of both sort of fell out, so I'm going to take them. And what is the Great Big Love card? Okay, that seems... What is the Great Big Love card? Okay, it's, like I said, it still feels like something that's coming. Okay, let's just go through this here first. It's like it definitely speaks to you being on purpose and you getting some recognition for it. And it's almost like, especially with that Divine Matrix card, I mean, these are really, really amazing sort of energies that I feel that you're dealing with. Okay, hi there, Flaming. Can't really read the rest of your name there, but yeah, it's about inspiration. You find it where you find it. So whether you believe in tarot cards or not tarot cards, I mean, it's like trusting in the universe, period. You have to trust in a God, or you have to trust in what you believe to be your God, or believe in your universal truth. You have to trust in that because there's no absolute. There's no absolute given specific future you're guaranteed. You have to trust in something, and it's whatever you resonate with that helps you to get on the path, that helps you to get through another day. Because the thing is, everybody has a path, everybody has a purpose, and it's whether or not you find it. It's really about waking up to what you are here for. Sometimes we just get so busy being busy that we kind of lose the call. So anyway, we'll start with shining through. So this is about self-expression. This is about seeing things unmasked, shining through, stepping up into your true self. It's a being aware of the things that you've learned, experienced, and you're integrating everything together. So that helps you to get noticed. So again, it's still seizing an opportunity and taking, part in something that you actually, and I'll answer your question there for you, Huda, in just a minute. But it's actually getting at the root of things, where you're able to share your gifts and express yourself. So it's along that line. This is where, again, you being back on purpose. So it's something about, light is shining through, and it is helping you to kind of get out of a dark place. And really, that's what energy is about. If you really consider, a lot of our space and our universe is really in darkness. And the only way to see beyond the darkness is to create light. And as energy beings, that is what we're doing. We're here to create balance by creating light. And just as a tidbit out there, and you can look this up, it's actual facts, but they actually have created portals. There's actual portals that are out there in the universe. So there's information that we can always sort of tap into, whether you want to call it spiritual in nature, whether you want to call it, sort of the Akashic record or whatever. The point is as energy, we can tap into other energy, and that's where everything makes a difference. So anyway, getting off track here again. So we'll get right back into you shining brightly. So this is where there's you taking pride in some of the work that you're doing here as well. Awakening the genius still speaks to that same thing. You finding some of your own power, you finding your creative expression in something and being able to bring it forward. Your ideas actually very much matter. And this is all about finding a way to work through something. So getting out of your own way, finding a way through it. So again, your expression is what is helping you to break through. So you're feeling inspired in some way to kind of get back on the path. And that expression seems to be very, very important, especially with all these cards coming out with the power of purpose. So again, that one is also about, healthy self-esteem that is coming through from purpose, being on purpose. So you're destined for something here. The path that you've chosen, there's something here about feeling a better sense of yourself, or being true to yourself, because you're actually taking purposeful commitment and making choices to explore something here that you really are in line with. So it's being authentic, so you can find your authentic self, and it's not about don't do things to please others and be self-conscious. It's really about you immersing yourself in something to help remove the blocks and really figure out who you are, as they say, essential self. So when we get to the card of great big love, now I didn't do this as a love reading, so I'm not going to read it that way. However, I do feel like, there is love around you that is supportive of you. And that's where it starts to change the connections that you have to people. So love heals all wounds is really what the card sort of indicates. And this is about you finding, better stages in this connection. So you start to sort of see things, in a healthier way. So it's, also what are you contributing to the world that represents in a loving way? Because that will also bring in some very healthy energy. The fact that we have the divine matrix here, again, there's something very significant coming through here. that kind of speaks to big scale concepts. So this to me is all about, you tapping into either the realm of spirit or intuition or psychic, something that is, or something here that allows you to see more of the synchronicities. Oh, this works with this. This is, you're seeing 333s or 444 or whatever. That's usually an indicator that you're on the right path. And there's so many variations on what those numbers mean, but they all basically kind of boil down to you're on the right path. So Spirit is trying to speak to you in that way. Again, some of you, this will come in dreams. Others, it will be more along the lines of, sometimes we can get trapped in an idea that the world and everything is separate. But in actual fact, we are, of course, all very much connected because energy does not die. Energy just shifts into another thing. So, and again, if you look it up, we are energy. We are very much, there's very much a fair amount of water in our system. And so again, when you refer back to the water study that I mentioned to you, water that you drink, depending on the hostility or the positivity that you have when you drink that water, or that somebody gives to you with that same mentality, it affects us on a really deep scale. So just know that, energy really matters, and it really, really does. It's not to say everything has to be light and perfect, because again, you've got to do the psychic or the deep, dark shadow work as well to sort of move into the higher ascension. But at the same token, don't get trapped in it. So that's where this card sort of goes into, and hello there, Rika. So anyway, moving on to, again, don't get trapped in the idea that the world is a place of separate parts, separate beings, space from time, from, from land and sea, because these are not separate things. Everything connects. And again, it's a sense of, how do you, um, how do you connect the things that you're doing in your life to be able to, to see it as the divine matrix? Really, everything you have to find a way to be a part of it instead of separate from it. And I feel like that's kind of where you're at. You feel separate from things, maybe separate from, experiences, but know that you are very much connected to things and these realities of sorts, right? So this is where this might be something that you're looking into. This might be something you're exploring, but it also kind of gives way to understanding some of the miracles that are out there. And a lot of the things that we call miracles, eventually we find that they are sciences. But who was it that said, it doesn't, the more you know, the less you know. Was it Socrates? Anyway, but the point is that the more you know, then there's another piece to the puzzle that comes in and changes that particular element. So just when you get comfortable, something comes in to shift it. Another energy comes in and shifts it. And it's all about how do you roll with the punches, so to speak. So again, remember, everything is connected. That's why it influences. That's why it impacts us. So that is kind of my story. All right, so now we're going to get right into, I'll just answer a couple of questions before I finish up here. Okay, so let's see. All right, so what is the question here? Huda, Rahil, Ahmed, Love, Huna. Okay, so are you asking if Rahil loves Huda? Because that's how I'm going to take it, so I hope that's accurate. Okay, so what are the feelings between that Rahil has for Huda? Husna. Okay, what are the feelings that Rahil has for Husna? Okay, what are the feelings between Rahil and Husna? What is the High Priestess? What is the Strength card? I don't know why I'm getting kind of like a mixed bag on that one, so to speak. I feel like there is some kind of financial issue or connection of some sort there. There's something that's not really clear. There has been some disappointment in that connection. And I'm just not sure exactly what this is because it's kind of reading two different ways here. I feel like either there is somebody here that has a lot of, oh yeah, okay, that would explain it. Because there's a card of waiting and then the, yeah. Oh, sorry, that was Rika's. Okay, we'll get to that one there too. But what I see here, like as far as Husna and Huda, okay. Again, what I'm seeing here is sort of practical energy. And I'm not seeing it as a strong love connection necessarily, but I feel like there is something here, but it's almost like there's something that is not quite clear enough to understand. And I don't know what that element is because it's not really showing me. It does show me that I suspect somebody here has money or is very resourceful with their money. So whether this is you or your the person that you're inquiring about, but that Queen of Pentacles is still an energy of somebody who's pretty resourceful. Like I said, very nurturing kind of person. Again, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo sort of energy. But I feel like it's important for them to feel safe and secure. And I don't know that they do. Like it's almost like there's a sense of lack around them. And I don't know if this is you or them, but again, there is still a sense that something is not quite good with the finances. And again, there's just something here that doesn't feel, it feels challenging. Something doesn't feel quite right. I would say that, again, because that Five of Pentacles is present, there's something here about low self-esteem, not feeling good enough. Again, whether this is you or them, but there's something that needs to change in around that area. Because it seems like money is quite significant and being cared for in that way would offer a lot of stability. So I don't know, again, how that relates to your situation. But again, self-esteem doesn't seem to be strong here. There is something here about waiting, and I don't feel like there is. It's like somebody's kind of holding back, waiting for something to change. And I don't know if that's the finances or if there's something here around a lack in a relationship where something is not equal, about the depth of, love or feeling for one another. But it does not feel equal to me. It feels like there's something that is not quite there yet. And it's not to say that it won't be. It says right now that that's just not where it is. So it's like, even with the Seven of Pentacles, it's like you're reevaluating, you or them, that relationship. So kind of looking at maybe something around the lifestyle. But there's a lot of kind of energy around really thinking about this from a practical standpoint. So I'm not really seeing a lot of the emotional energy here. What I'm seeing is somebody's really thinking about it over the long term. Is this going to be right for me? Is this, is the money sufficient, or because it seems like there's an imbalance between that aspect of things. Again, even with that Page of Swords, that still speaks to energy around not having, well, I shouldn't say, it's like more of a, it can be a card of distance actually as well, but it's kind of like a nagging feeling that there's a problem here. And again, oh, they're married. Is that what you mean, Huda? Yeah, that could be the mysterious element here, because what I'm seeing, like I said, is that it's just something is not quite right. There's an imbalance, like I said, and this could be Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini coming through with this card here as well. But like I said, something about something's not quite right, So they could have. They're really doing a lot of thinking about whatever the situation is here. Like I said, I just feel like, I don't know. It just feels like there's still some level of observation or really trying to logic it out. You know what I mean? Really think about it from a logical standpoint if it's really the right thing. And this might be where you need to have kind of that heart to heart talk, um, because maybe you're not being taken seriously or something like that. It's like the communication needs to happen here because there's something still kind of missing. Um, yeah, but like I said, it's not, there's a sense of detachment here and really stopping to think about something. So I don't know what's transpired, but it's definitely not quite there yet. There is communication issue. Well, I won't say communication issue necessarily, but it feels like the person is kind of pulling back or distancing they're really in their head, is what I would say there. There's a lot of energy around being in the head. I would say that there are some disagreements on several points there. And again, finances or someone not being, as balanced as someone else. So maybe that's part of it. But it definitely feels like those things need to change, or you have to change their mind about some issues because they're kind of set in their way about how they think about something here. Um, it doesn't feel like they're using too much of their, intellect to sort of deal with this relationship, which is kind of odd to me. Because if it's a, heartfelt situation, you kind of dive in emotionally and, and try to work through the problems or whatever. I mean, I'm not saying that that's not necessarily the right thing, because maybe this person is just naturally that way and maybe they need to reason everything out first before they, kind of commit to something. So they're weighing the pros and cons or something along that line. Again, the card of the High Priestess, there's some elements that are unknown. You're going to have to trust your intuition on what to say and how to deal with it. But I feel like it's almost like the person needs to be, they need some time to sort of figure this out. It's like the pregnant pause, as they say, where you have to stop and think about something before you can really, know what's the right step for you. Because I don't feel like they really have an understanding of that yet. I don't even think it's in their sphere yet. They can't quite figure that out. So I'm going to leave it at that part. The Strength card does indicate that there could be some level of, passion or whatever, kind of ego driven though. Because that card is still, it's a major arcana, but it's not really the main ones out here. But it does sort of speak to there being, almost like somebody is too concerned about looks, appearances, or, you know, maybe something along that line. I don't know why I'm getting it that way, but that's how it feels. There could be a lot in terms of, physicality, where there's a lot of intensity, but I feel like this person, you or them, somebody's, well, I guess it'd be them, is be pretty confident, very strong, sort of willed, or at least there's just still something here about intensity. Like, and it's right beside the emotional card here. So I feel like it's an emotional intensity. But again, there's some level of shift that is, somebody's not feeling it entirely. There's something missing here. There's something missing in around emotionally disappointed, sadness, depression. And again, there was still a lack with the other five in terms of finances. Not really, there's something here that needs to really change before anything of impact would make a difference. I don't feel that this is strongly going forward yet. I feel like this person's going to be in this headspace for a while, because there's too much to shift there with the money and with the heart, or the stability and the heart, or the setback of some sort here. There, again, there's a lot of sorrow around this person or you, again, but in terms of a relationship, it just feels like somebody feels like there's a loss going on here, or they would take maybe too much of a loss. But again, it just doesn't feel entirely balanced. So I'm sorry if that is not quite the exact thing you want to hear, but that's what I'm gathering from that situation. So I just don't feel like it's quite, there's just too much of an imbalance. And again, I don't know if it's just because this person is really stuck in their head, and they can't figure out how to unlock or go forward, but they're really trying to use a rational mind to sort of figure it out. And I don't know how long that would sort of take, but it looks like it's quite a bit of energy to overcome two big issues. Okay, I'll answer one more and then I gotta go. Okay, Robert, let me just see what it says for you. I thought you were going to bed, Robert. Okay, anyway, let's get back in there. Okay, as a Pisces, even though you're a Pisces, I'll do it on the Gemini read. Okay, so what is coming in for Robert in the next few days? Although I got to tell you, Robert, sometimes I feel tarot is not really accurate in terms of time frames, and I think I know it's going to sound weird, but I have my own idea of what I believe in the universe. And I don't think time is something that, you're welcome, Huda. I don't think time is really something that is a concept in a universal sense. And that's why I think that this is really hard to gauge, because just from the research and the things that I've been doing, it doesn't feel like, they say time is a human construct is what they say. So if that's the case, then tarot is really hard to read on that basis, because you're asking, another realm, so to speak, of energy to come in and speak to days and months. And so that's why I say I think it's really more general for the most part. But anyway, we'll try for a few days. Okay, what's coming in for Robert in the very near future? What's coming in for Robert in the very near future? Well, there is some kind of connection here. Definitely a connection. Okay, well, it's definitely a connection here, and it looks like it's going to be a really prosperous sort of connection. I don't know if this is somebody who has money and somebody who is, more logic-minded, intellectual. Maybe I should just kind of clarify what that is. What is that King of Pentacles? There's a give and take in a situation, a connection. What is the Queen or the Queen of Swords? Yeah, I feel like this is a partnership or some kind of connection that's coming in here. Something about there's been a lack in a situation where there maybe hasn't been a lot of reciprocity, but I feel like that's about to change, because the Three of Pentacles is what's coming in here as things moving to a higher level. So I don't know if that's what you were actually asking me, but it looks like there's something around connection or around money. If we're talking about money, it would definitely be some kind of a business alliance, and I do feel like it's going to upgrade and do things in a positive for you. If it's actually a relationship dynamic, there's going to be more give and take there, and it's like moving to the next level. Does that help you out a bit? And again, Libra, Gemini, Aries, Taurus really figures prominently here for me too. Could be water sign as well, but okay. And what else? I'll answer one more. Oh, glad it helped there, Robert. You're welcome. And for, what was the other one? Sorry, it's hard to scroll back. Sorry, just trying to see what other... Oh, Rika, what is the connection with Neurotom? Sorry if I mispronounced that. Okay, what is the connection with Neurotom? I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. As I said, it's... Okay, what is the connection between Rika and Neurotom? What is the connection between Rika and Neurotom? What is the Knight of Swords? Why the Knight of Cups? What is the Knight of Swords? Wow, I don't know what this connection is that you have, but there's a lot of, I don't know, practicality and money or something that's associated with it, or at least that's what seems to be coming in. And you're going to get a very quick message coming in ASAP. So that's what I see for you, Rika. So again, the connection seems to be quick communication. You're getting immediate communication here in this, and I mean immediate. It's going to be something that happens rather quickly. But again, with the Nine of Pentacles, I feel like There's somebody here is very self-reliant. Somebody is very independent. Somebody is very well off. I would say that this is somebody who has a pretty good sense of finances. And they're definitely, I would say, quite talented in some ways. And I feel like this has been a connection that's been burdensome in some way. It's been very, I think it's been, I don't know if it's been very physical or not, because it seems like there's a lot in terms of like practical energy, but there's also um, kind of physical energy that's kind of showing up here as well. But it's almost angry. I don't know if that's true, but maybe not angry is the word. But whatever it is, it's been a lot of a burden. So there's been an overwhelm of some sort. So I feel like things are going to start to ease and there's going to be a lot more comfort in this connection. You're going to be hearing very soon from this person. Um, Again, I'm going to pull forward the Nine of Pentacles, because there's also like it's immediate like offer of love or some, and I'm not saying they're coming in and saying, oh my god, let's get married, but I am saying that there is still some kind of love offer on the table. This person is going to come in and say, you know, say something that you want to hear anyway. Let's put it that way, because the Knight of Cups is that energy of, you know, I feel something for you and I am going to, let's go out on the night on in the town, because there's a rapid development is taking place here. Again, that Knight of Cups energy is a focus on emotion. So it is somebody who is coming through very quickly, you know, to express some form of emotion to you. And I would say that this is somebody who really takes responsibility seriously. And I feel like they're very they really, I feel like this is almost feels like it's your person or something here, because the energy I'm getting is that what has been a hardship or something that's been difficult, but you're getting the Ten of Pentacles, and that is like the ultimate card of, you know, this is your person. This is somebody who really feels that uh, you are the person for them, like financially, your family, you represent good stability. Like there's just a lot of energy around longevity there, and you have an important place in their heart is what I would say there. It's a really rich emotional bond, and I don't know if you are, you know, I don't know what the quick communication is, if they are at a distance or something here, and maybe they're traveling back to you, but I just feel like this relationship is one of security. They look for you, and it feels like, you know, you're home to them. So I don't know if that is really, you know, resonating with you at all, but that's the cards that I sort of see out here, is that this person is, you know, home and family is very important to them. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight. Anyway, I'm going to close it out, guys. Otherwise, I'll go on for 2 hours. Keep moving forward. Never give up. And until next time, we will speak in the next read.